एक ना एक दिन जाए हमको भी सपनों की रानी एक ना एक दिन मिल जाएगी हमको भी सपनों की रानी ऐसे शुरू फिर हो जाएगी जैसे दिलों की प्रेम कहानी अपनी भी शामें रंगी होंगी अपनी भी सुबहें होंगी सुहानी प्यारे प्यारे से प्यारे दिल के तारे दिल की बातें कोई नहीं था हारे हारे मिल जाएगा करना ऐसी खता नहीं मिली है नहीं मिलेगी अरे तेरी वो दिल आजा 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 चोरी चोरी हम गोरी से प्यार करेंगे चुपके चुपके दिल की बातें प्यार करेंगे आने वाली आएगी गोरी तेरे पता भूल रहे हैं जाने कब से हम उसका पता आजा 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 आजा
So as you see, the Chinese carrier is fighting the Kraken, but she's not. The ship is not hurt, even though it's fighting bravely the monster. Unlike the HMS Vengeance, the George I.W. Bush, and the Reagan that are visibly broken and burned. So now I will translate my statement from earlier this night to practical terms. This is the end of humanity. No more humans. No more Homo sapiens. No more. No more. This is the end of Homo sapiens. This is the last station. Now, almost all of you are going to hell. Hell is just as real as this world, and you will be tortured. And above all, those that will be tortured the most are the ones that paid even 1 cent for any of my presumably painting. 1 cent, they will be tortured. There will be animals that will be hunted for thousands of years by fearsome predators that will never actually catch them, but they will also always be on the run, always hungry, always fear, always living in fear. So what's going on? What will be the fate of the earth? Will it be empty? No, it will not be empty. There is more than 1 billion Chinese people. I don't know how exactly, 1.4, 1.5, I don't know, something like that. They will be converted, upgraded to something else. In general, Titans, even though the definition of Titans was always ambiguous. I use the term Titans and not Venusians, even though I always knew that the planet that they contain that harbor sentient life is Venus. I knew it more than 4 years ago, but I always called them Titans. It's not exactly true. Very early in very early text, I called them seraphim, and as opposed to myself, my species, which I termed the cherubim, and I still call my species cherubim, but very soon, I changed from seraphim to Titans. It doesn't really matter why. It doesn't really matter why. In general, the Chinese people will be turned into Titans, but this is an ambiguous term. It doesn't really matter. You understand the idea, the general idea. Their lifespan will be potentially much larger than that of Homo sapiens, and it will have several disadvantages and many advantages. The main advantage is the fact that they will leave, because there will be no more Homo sapienses. No more Homo sapienses. It's enough. We will destroy, we'll kill all of them, starting now. It's already started, and very soon the process will end. To be said that there are already quite a bit of Titans in China, so it's not a new thing for them. Like, they know what it is. It's not not that it's not a big deal for them to know that, there will be no more Homo sapienses, and to know that they will be all converted to Titans, but they know what are Titans. The amount of humiliation, torture, poverty that I was subjected to, and physical pain all my life is unbelievable. Up to this day, always under threat, always people try to murder me, take everything from me. And you think the intelligence services all over the world just keep playing me like an animal that is running from here to there. Well, you know very well that that the program was always to murder me, and the problem is that I'm still alive. But enough of that, you are all dead. The purpose of this video is to explain what will be the fate of the Earth in the short term. In the long term, this will be the Chinese people. They have free will, they have free choice. They will be the guardians of the Earth, and according to what they will do, that will be the fate. But now I discuss short-term implications. No more Homo sapienses at all. The end of humanity. Everybody will die. Most will go to hell. The Chinese people will not die, but instead be converted to Titans, and it's already a process that started. And there are already quite a bit of Titans in China. For the Chinese people, this is of course this kind of news should be taken very seriously, because the process already started, and this is the near future. So you need to prepare for that. Of course, in the very short term, it will be a very difficult war, because there will be tremendously less population than before. But hopefully you will be able, together with your government, to choose the correct path. The Cherubs, my species, they never dictated the best for humanity. Maybe they should have, but they didn't, because of many reasons that I already discussed it at length, and many of you understand it very well. We only helped you as ambassadors that lived among you, just like you. But we never dictated your path. You chose your path, and ultimately you chose destruction, and now all of you will die. The Chinese people will be Titans, and they will choose their path. I hopefully wisely. You know that for a long time, now I think it's not rigorously, it's not the way that it was, but for a long time, during the 20th century, in China there was the policy of only one child, because they feared that, there will be an explosion of population, and that they will not be able to sustain this kind of population, and this will lead to hunger and violence and all sorts of troubles, so they had to enact this kind of policy. Famously, many people try to manipulate the situation to have male child and not female, because they were mostly agriculture. Until very lately, throughout the 20th century, they were mostly farmers, and from the farmer's perspective, if they have only one child and it's a daughter, it's a huge problem, and possibly can spell their doom. If there is a hunger, they need the offspring in order to sustain them, like it's always have been throughout history. But on the other hand, there were quite a bit of people in China that adopted Titan female from Venus, a refugee after the genocide that the white people have done in Venus. and they agree to adopt a child, a Titan female, not only a female that is a problem from the agricultural perspective, as I just said, also not biological child, because the government of China supported this, but it did not exempt people that they chose this path were not exempt from the one-child policy. So they actively chose to not have a biological child, to end their line, and also knowingly to adopt a female mostly, because there were mostly females in Venus, and to place their own future at risk because of the agricultural situation. Again, in our time, right now, 2023, it's not exactly like that, because, as you know, China advanced tremendously in the last 30 years, and this advancement, encompassed all areas of life, so things changed. But for a long time, that was the situation, and many people chose to adopt a child, even though they knew that most certainly it would be female, and it would put them potentially at risk of hunger when they will be old, and also that they will have no biological children. This is opposed to the Americans that did not even allow Titans to get into the United States. I speak a lot about monotheism and about Judaism, Christianity, even a little bit of Islam. I identify myself as a Christian, a Protestant Christian. I have strong connection to the Bible, mostly the Old Testament, because I studied it for a much longer time, but gradually also to the New Testament. Of course, it takes time. But if you think that God take this kind of thing, general things like, are you monotheist, or do you belong to a monotheist culture? To this kind of culture is Islam or Christianity or Judaism, or what flavor? Do you think that God cares about it? This is only important if people just act as if they believe in God. But if they act as if they do not believe in God, why should God care about the flag of their religion? Yes. Widespread religions and also institutionalized religions are important from practical perspective, but and Christianity, the various institutions of Christianity were very important in the history of humanity, and this is also true to Islam. But of course, this is only to serve the purpose of to spread the belief in God, so people will act as if they believe in God, because God exists, and you should act as if you know that God exists. And if you don't act this way, the issue of what religion do you belong is ridiculous. And this is not a curiosity. People that speak so much about religion but do not act as they believe in God. This is the common attitude in the Western world, and also in many other places all over the world. I chose China for a reason. Me and my daughters, we will move to China, most probably to Hong Kong, but not necessarily. And I will raise my daughters, of course, also with their mothers in Hong Kong or in other places in China. And this will be done very soon. But before we do it, there are still open businesses here. What's going to happen now, in the next couple of hours, is that I will hang more and more paintings, I've just hanged the super carriers, the symbolic. You don't need a PhD in linguistics to understand the symbolic meaning. The symbolic meaning is destruction. Outside of maybe some kind of exceptions, like the Chengdu, like the 17 exception. But mostly, I mean, it's very straightforward what's going to happen. Everything that I hang, I mean, symbolize complete destruction by the spaceships. And this will be done until the world is destroyed enough that I will feel that the time comes for me to take my daughters and their mothers and to move to China. Hopefully it will happen soon, but not immediately, because we need to destroy the earth before we leave the hell that is called the State of Israel.